All right, so this is just a quick video for the high performance individual, and I just wanted to touch base on a few points that clients, because I've been servicing them for a number of years, that high performance people in their professions, well, again, whether it be like business owners, lawyers, investors, CEOs, even somebody who has multiple jobs that's running around all the time, you know, that doesn't initially have the time to settle down or isn't utilizing their time just for watching TV or just for doing things around the house, or just doesn't have the time that they put towards everyday activities that the average person does. And there's nothing wrong with that, okay? I'm not, again, trying to shame anybody if that's the case. I'm just speaking to a literal market here when it comes to certain individuals. So this video is going to be dedicated to a little bit more dedicated to those people, and I'm going to go through a few points here that you can utilize. But first, I just want to touch up on a few things. First thing is, when it comes to somebody who's got a high profile job, high profile position, running a business, multiple businesses and whatnot, again, we've already said time management is a thing. They don't have time or as much time in order to put towards their training. So they have to basically, or you have to basically find a certain period of time that's going to work for you, okay? Another thing is trying to put together a diet plan, or having to put together a plan that's going to allow you to stay within your macros if you're losing weight, or stay within your calories if you're losing weight. Another thing is stress management, right? How, and this one is massively important, I have found personally, because everybody always would come to train with me for literally one of three things, right? It would either be weight loss, it would either be putting on muscle, or it would be generally both / gaining more energy and feeling better, right? Transformation of some sorts. But it always ended up being that when I would take them through my program and I would develop the specific program for them, and we would be going through it month after month after month, they would start to see how it became, or it started with, like I said, one of the three things that I listed, but it became more about stress management and how good they felt. And how after they have gotten their results, their initial results, they wanted to even just continue to do it because of how good they felt, and the good endorphins that would get released in their brain, and how their body would feel after the workout, whether it would be doing cardio, especially weightlifting, you know, just putting themselves through an activity depending on what I had given them to do or what I made them do when we were training. And the common answer that I would get, the commonality of the entire thing would be that they would feel a lot of stress relief. They would feel better. They felt that that either their anxiety would get reduced, their depression would get reduced, they would feel happier throughout the day. They could manage their anger better. They could manage their employees better. They felt better. They felt that they could handle certain situations better if they were dealing with somebody above them, if they were in a high pressured environment. When it came to like sales or meeting certain daily tasks, they felt like they could think clear. So it's not like it's a magic pill to make everything better, but these are some of the responses that I would get. And for some people, it would vary. Some people, it would be, they felt like it would manage, or it helped them even more versus others. Nonetheless, it was a commonality that was between a lot of the high performance clients that I would see, and is something that I think is huge when it comes to dealing with a high performance individual, especially if that's you. Another thing that would come back to me through the clients that I would train is energy. Now, you would think because of how much output they're giving to their life, especially their profession or their business, that they would have a lot of energy already because of the amount of businesses they run or the profession they have and what they're doing throughout their day. But sometimes it's actually the opposite. They're just used to be able to doing so much throughout the day, or they've automated a lot of their business, which makes it a bit easier to them to stay on certain tasks, or they're just in kind of a mindful automation throughout the day that they're used to putting out that much power, but they actually feel like shit, right? They feel like crap. They don't feel like they have the energy. When they get up in the morning, they can feel that there's a lack of energy there. And this is also something else that, again, it ties into working out, and furthermore doing exercises, and also making better choices. And it does differ per individual, because when I do look at somebody's regimen and their schedule, I really break down on what they're eating, what they're doing, what their schedule is like. However, there are certain key things that you can add in that it's going to help you automatically. And then another thing, one more thing that I found is that a lot of high performance individuals, not all of them, but I'd say from my personal experience, a higher portion of them you don't take personal time. There's no personal time involved, right? So they're always focused on making sure everything's done properly within the day, making sure that their numbers are hit depending on what profession they're in, assuring that all their tasks are met, making sure that their employees are doing what they need to be doing, or looking after their management team, or whatever the case is in regards to their business. That even after they get home, or even before they get to work, they're on the phone talking to people, dealing with fires at work if something blew up, dealing with HR situations depending on how big their business is, or if some things happen with employees at work, maybe dealing with their manager or dealing with their boss, or if they are the boss, dealing with their employees again if something happens. Like, there's always something going on even after they get home. It's like there's no personal time. And the common answer I usually get is, yeah, but I can't shut off from my business, or I have to answer this call because if I don't, like, you know, it can spread into something else and it can just make things even more detrimental for my business. And while that all, at the end of the day, that is true to a degree, you have so many hours within a week. You can take some time in a week, which I'm gonna go into a little bit more, right? But also taking time for yourself is important as well. So now I'm just gonna go through each and every one of those points again, but I'm just gonna give a few tips that I generally do with my clients that you can use for yourself that can start being implemented today. Whether you know them or not, chances are you're probably not doing it, because a lot of times I'll even tell my clients to do them. They don't implement it right away, and I have to really beat it into their ear until they actually start taking it serious and they start implementing it and start realizing, you know what, it actually does help and it does make a difference, right? So the first thing was time management, right? So time management in regards to your workouts and not having the time to work out, or not having the time to be able to put together a meal plan, or even put together, even if you're not one that has counted calories or knows how, you will be after this course, that's for sure, and you're gonna implement it after doing the stuff in this course. When it comes to your workouts, what I do for my clients, I get them to do short 10-15 minute workouts, right? Everybody has 10 to 15 minutes. It's not the most ideal thing because you'd like to do an hour. However, if you increase your pace, okay, and you increase the intensity and you do it within a shorter period of time, you probably won't burn as many calories. However, you're still going to tear your fibers, burn a bit of calories, and you're still going to put on a little bit of muscle over time from doing that. And it's better than nothing, and it will also make you feel better and help reduce stress as well, because you have put yourself through a workout. You have released good endorphins in your brain, and you will start to feel your stress levels go down a little bit over time. And this will help get you on track and allow you to start getting into the framework of working out for longer periods of time. So what I get some people to do is start with a 15 to 20 minute workout, right? 3 times a week. You can dedicate 15 minutes 3 times a week. You can find the time at some way, shape, or form, whether it's after work, before work. You can find the time, dedicate that amount of time. I'm actually gonna link in here 2 of my at-home workouts that I have on my membership area for paying people, so that you can use them for free. You can literally put it on, you can screen share, you can watch it on your phone, and you can just follow along. You don't even have to think. You just have to follow what I do in the video. All you generally need is a set of bands or weights, and you're good to go. And the rest of it is all body weight stuff. But that's something that you can use to follow along with, so that you can get into the rhythm of working out and start allowing yourself to build muscle and also lose weight and get you situated in a positive direction. When it comes to your nutrition, start prepping it the night before, or cook a big batch of food on Sunday that'll last you throughout the week, so that you can meal prep your food, have it already stacked away, and then just have to pick it up, grab, and go to work, and then move on from there, okay? If you're somebody who is always on the road and, you know, doesn't necessarily always have the time to do that, or doesn't have a microwave with them that's able to heat up some of this food, then pick the best choices possible when you're out on the road. Pick the lowest calorie option possible with the healthiest choice, okay? Especially if you're somebody who is wanting to get weight loss, okay? Now, again, we're gonna go more into detail of that later on in the course, but just for the sake of giving you a few pointers. Now, when it comes down to how much food you're eating, if you're overeating, there's no other way around it. You just have to limit yourself. Limit yourself to 1 serving versus having 2, 3, 4 servings. You don't need that extra food. You're just used to it and your body wants it because of how much you've been doing it over time, and that's what you're used to. The reverse can happen. If you start to reduce the amount of food you have, for the first 2-3 weeks or so, you're still gonna be hungry. However, in order to get in a calorie deficit, you have to reduce the food you're eating, and that's going to cause you to lose the weight. One thing that I get my clients to do is that depending on some of the foods that they're having, again, I will get them to reduce the amount of food, and then I will have them, with their food, have a big glass of water or two, right? This is going to fill your stomach up. You're going to feel more full. It'll get you to the next time that you're going to eat, and it'll help you with weight loss. Now, I know some of you are saying, oh, but when it comes to, cooking food, do I really have to meal prep in advance? Yeah, you do, and you should, because you don't even have to think about what you're going to have during the week, right? If you're an individual who always have their meals taken care of, okay, that's even better. Or if your wife cooks for you, or your husband cooks for you, or if you're somebody that has money, you can just order food in. There's plenty of companies that do that as well. You can just order from them. They can bring in the food. You just cook it on the spot, and that's it. But the choices are there. There's many different choices that you can utilize for yourself that will help you with time management. When I work with a client, I specifically give them an answer, depending on what their schedule is, of course. But you can find something that works, and it really doesn't take that much effort to find foods that are easy to cook, that you can cook in advance, that you can take with you to work, or that you can order and outsource from somewhere else. There's plenty of companies that do that as well. You pay them a few $100 to like $1,000 a month, whatever the case is, if you have the money to do so, and they'll just keep shipping you food in, and then they'll even do your calories for you, and they can count it for you as well. All right, for stress management, you gotta start practicing things that will help you with stress. And obviously one thing is working out and eating healthier. Putting in the time towards fixing and transforming your body is definitely going to help with that. Another thing is meditation. Some people are open to it. Some people already do it. Other individuals think it's just weird. I'll tell you one thing from doing it myself and used to thinking before that it was just weird. It really does help. When you can sit there and you can think of nothing or just allow your thoughts to present themselves over a period of time, it feels odd at first because you're not used to it, but the more that you do it, you'll find when you come out of that, whether you're meditating for 15, 10, 20 minutes, half an hour, whatever, you will feel a sense of calm. You'll feel at ease. You'll come out of, like, so to speak, like a sense of zen, right? You'll feel better about yourself because it really does help you feel better. Now, don't ask me about the science behind it or whatever. I don't know. All I know is that it actually works. It helps. I do it myself, and it's something that you can try yourself in order to help you with stress management. Another thing you can do is just wind down. At the end of the day, learning how to try to turn off your phone or limiting the amount of messages that you generally take in will help you tremendously, right? If you want to just, at the end of the day, after work, you get home from a late shift, or you get home really late after dealing with something in your company, if you want to turn on the TV and just let your brain melt, that's fine too. Generally, reading is a good thing as well. Even just putting on comedy to get you in a state of happiness and joy and laughing at something to make you laugh is another great way that actually a lot of my clients actually do. They like to watch comedy because that puts you in a better state of being. It puts you in a more happy state of being, joyous state of being, and it also helps you get into a better method, or a better state, I should say, of sleep, and allows you to sleep a bit better, and that's something else that you can apply. Also, a really important thing I think I need to note here, even I've caught myself doing this times too, and there's even clients that are like way above me in terms of like success and pay and just family and all that, and community that they've built. I think it's important to make sure that you get time for yourself with other individuals, like spending time with your wife, going out with your family, going out with your friends. You can give an hour, a couple of hours a month. I know how some of you busy you guys are. I get it. I'm busy myself. I deal with clients all the time that fly in and out of the country, that I deal with in other provinces around Canada, and they're busy, okay? But you can give yourself a little bit of time to basically go out with friends, going to an event, just circulating yourself with positive-minded individuals that are good for you and not toxic for you, that are good for you, and that's going to allow you to take your mindset off of your business and your work for a period of time. Even if you're passionate about it, I love what I do, don't get me wrong. I'm an author as well, I love writing, and I love doing this and helping people, but it's always nice to be in another setting with other like-minded individuals, whether it's just talking about them and their life, or even what they're doing in their business, or generally talking about growth and how we can all become better. It's getting yourself out of your current stressed situation and allowing your mind to open up a little bit more and giving you a bit of an outage from the stress that you've been having. And I think a lot of high performers forget to do that because they're so entrenched in what they do, and they want to make sure they're ahead of their competition, and they want to make sure that they're going to get everything out that they've thought of that day, because if they don't, they might forget it, and that could be their $1 million idea. Guys, at the end of the day, it's always going to be there, right? You're always going to be able to go back to your business. The work ethic that you have is not going anywhere. Taking a few hours off, even a month, to some people, when I tell that to ordinary people, they're like, a month? Oh my God, like how are you only taking off that short amount of time? Like, well, you don't understand the people that I work with and how I am as an individual. But doing that is going to go a long way for your mental sanity, and I always suggest people to do that as well. If you travel a lot, make sure you book a gym. Always make sure you book a gym where you're traveling. I tell my clients all the time, no excuses. They have the income, they have the business, they always have to travel around. Make sure you book a gym wherever you go, okay? Just because you're traveling around, especially if you're somebody who's just getting in to working out, and especially if you're somebody who needs to lose weight, there's no excuses. Book something with a gym. If for whatever reason you cannot, every hotel, even some Airbnbs have gyms within their Airbnbs now. But if you can't absolutely get a gym for whatever reason, you can bring a pair of bands. Like, there's no excuse for that. Bring it with you. You stick to a program. You make sure that you follow that program even when you're traveling. Go for a run as well if your cardio is part of that program, or for a walk. They're gonna have treadmills there. If for whatever reason they don't have cardio equipment, you can go for a run outside. There's never an excuse not to be able to do it when you're traveling. It's just literally about following through and making sure that you're going to keep doing it like you would do in your business. You have to take the same mentality that you have in your business and put it into your health and fitness. Like, when you're in your business, you would never let certain things slip, right? You would never allow certain things to happen. You would never not want to be there for your employees and make sure that they're doing their best and empower them to do their best and encourage them to perform the best that they can every single day. So then why wouldn't you want to do the same when it comes to your health and fitness, even when you're traveling? That's not an excuse, and it's not a gateway for you to walk out of just because you're leaving the country and you're going to be doing work. You set, same rule applies as I mentioned earlier, 10 to 15 minutes aside. You end up going to that gym, you work out for 15 minutes or so, use one of the videos that I put into this one of the follow along videos I use in this program, and then you put it on and just work out. Or you can do your own routine. Whatever the case is, it's not an excuse. When you're traveling, book a gym, bring bands with you, you're still gonna work out. All right, so those are just some tips that I give my high performance clients, and things that they have implemented that has really allowed them to perform better and stay on track with their routine when they're traveling, and especially when they're here, that has allowed them to get a bit of stress release because of their jobs. Hopefully you can use them to implement them in yourself. And if they are things that you already know, but you haven't been implementing, well, then you should be implementing them. So then just take this as a sign that it's something that you should use to implement in your routine yourselves, because it's only going to benefit you. If you haven't been using them or you haven't been implementing them, put them in your routine, start doing it, and it's only going to increase the odds of you getting to your results and becoming stronger and better. All right, guys, that's the end for this video. Again, do your best to add these into your routine, and I will see you guys in the next video.